I wanted to comment on the Thomases. I've always loved them in every team that I happen to be in or lead, and I've always put them in the group of the people who represent friction in a movement. Yeah, in physics, in science, we know that friction is very important because it stops you from sliding, from just going without any brakes. So they are like the brake pads. Otherwise, without them, you may not be able to uh, figure out or to digest better an idea that you have. In one of my teams, when I was in the university, I called a group of them politicians because they would come up with politics basically that do not enough of them may not make sense, but at least they will put you to task to be able to filter your idea and explain it better. And by the end of the day, they make you even understand your idea much better and become better at executing it, because they will ask those questions. What makes you believe? Things like that. Why not this? Why just this? And something like that. So they are very, very central in your progress. Another thing that Christine said is you will get help from very unfamiliar sources. And I've lived this particular truth, this particular reality. I've often said it, and I think it's also in the book, that when I was going for the first time to Mombasa, I did not know what Mombasa is. In fact, in my mind, it was just like our little town in where I grew up in Kindu Bay, and maybe you could ask somebody. So I remember when I reached Kisumu, to the person who was to guide me, he was telling me, no, don't think that Mombasa is like Kindu Bay. You can ask somebody, do you know so and so? Where does he stay? So apparently, when I reached, the uncle of mine who was to pick me, he didn't pick me, and he was the person I was going to. He didn't pick me from the railway station. It would have been a big trouble for me because I did not know anybody else. Now here is the other problem: I did not have any money at all. But what happened was that the person with whom I traveled, we just met in the train. We kept talking, and by the time we were alighting, we had gotten to know each other. He was way older than me. I don't know why he took interest in me. But then he told me, well, now that your uncle is not coming to pick you, maybe we can go with you, and then we will find out how we can find him. And sure enough, he helped me. We went with him. I had mentioned where I was going, Kongowea, and he was also going to the same place. So we went there, and apparently my uncle, who was previously alcoholic, was known by people who were brewing alcohol. And this guy was going to his sister, who, for whichever reason, happened to be selling alcohol. So there was a possibility of getting to know this uncle of mine. And sure enough, when we arrived, he asked the sister asked the guys there, and some of them knew him and knew where he was. So they just told me, you just take tea, rest, we will take you there. And they took me there. So you can always get, don't despise success. You just need to be open-minded enough, take chances. You can get help from very unfamiliar sources. It's possible. And she mentioned something which I love. The universe congregates around you to assist you. That is what in the Bible, it's also said that all things will work together to help you. All things will work together for your good. Whether they are natural things like wind, the rain, the thunderstorm, all things will work because the universe, the whole creation works to aid you to be able to achieve that which is in your heart. And that includes the angels that God has put around the way. I do not want it to look like it's preaching, but there will always be people along the way to aid you as you move towards living your dream. Problem is, sometimes we can reject the help with our pride, with our attitude, and sometimes we don't even recognize them because we despise people. But believe me, you will get help even from very unfamiliar sources. The other thing I love saying is every person you see is a constituency. Every single person knows very many other people whom you don't know. And some of the people they know are very senior. You may think they are very small people, maybe just a gate man or a secretary or whatever. These people, you do not know whom they know. Yeah, we talk about that when we are discussing about customer service and even selling. Let's treat people with respect. We do not know where our help will come from, and it can come from very unfamiliar sources. Yeah, that's very, very important. Thank you.